person I am inside. You're watching Tools for Talent on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez, and today's guest is the beautiful Miss New York from Women of Achievement, Aesha Wax.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
you so much for being here. You look absolutely stunning in your gown right now. Is this one of the gowns that you wore to the pageant?
Actually, yes, it is. You look absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And I really appreciate being here. Yes, this is the gown that I wore in the evening wear competition.
Yes. Can you show it to them real quick?
Sure can.
Oh my God, it's beautiful and it fits you like a glove. Was this custom made for you?
No, but it took me a while to actually shop for these gowns, so I fell in love with this one.
Yes, it's perfect.
Thank you.
So Women of Achievement, can you tell us real quick what that pageant is about?
Yeah, what makes Women of Achievement different from other pageants is it has a real strong focus on platform. And I really wanted to focus on my plight against eating disorders because that is my main focus when it comes to charity work. There were a couple of pageants that I actually placed as Miss New York in.
Really?
And I had to actually choose which one would be the best for me, and I went for the one with the strongest platform.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations for winning Miss New York.
Thank you.
And I also heard, if you guys don't know, she is the runner-up for the National Women of Achievement pageant. So congratulations.
Thank you. I was up against some pretty fierce women, and actually, I just want to give credit to some of these women who have taken their platform to the next level.
Yeah.
I'm in a place right now where I'm doing a couple of things with my health and fitness career, such as at the YMCA as an advanced personal trainer as well as a sports nutritionist. They allowed me to have my first group sessions where people would take part in a therapeutic circle where I would help coordinate people's fears about eating, people's setbacks with creating their own diet plan. And
what made you choose that as your platform?
Well, actually, to go back in history, I myself had an array of eating disorders growing up that I cured.
Thank you for being so honest.
Thank you. I cured myself of all of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel like I'm going off on a couple of tangents right now, but
it's a lot. It's a lot. Why don't you start about how you got through that, and then after that you'll say how you use that to now.
Okay. When I was suffering with my own eating disorders, my mom, rest her soul, she died of brain cancer.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. She was my biggest supporter, and she was like one step away from sending me away to a hospital for anorexia.
Wow.
And I said to her, please just let me cure myself. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to read every diet book on the market, and I'm going to see what's fact and what's fad, and I'm going to keep a journal, and I'm going to find a way to eat right and not have these disorders anymore. And it turned out that my journal that I kept, I submitted it to one of my professors when I was at NYU.
Yeah.
And she said, you should go into publishing this because it really is fantastic. And I did, and I went ahead. It's published. It's called The Model Body Plan.
Look at this, a published author too, guys. She just keeps on surprising us. You are so multi-talented.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's on barnesandnoble.com.
Make sure you go get that. No, but I mean, that's really amazing that you took your own struggle and you use that as empowerment to not only help yourself, but now you're giving back and you're helping others overcome these struggles as well. So seriously, kudos to that.
Thank you.
That takes a lot of courage.
Thank you.
And then to be a published author, I know that's not easy as well. So getting in Barnes & Noble is a really big deal.
Yeah, that was not easy as well. There's been a lot of struggles along the way. My book is an ebook on barnesandnoble.com. I know that a lot of people I hear don't want to be seen lurking around the diet sections of bookstores. So they tend to keep the diet books and the self-image books private on the online section, which is why I'm limited to what book signings I do, because a lot of people don't want to show up and stand up and say, I have a problem.
Well, I mean, that is a very, you know, sensitive problem as well. Some people are not even ready to be open about it. You know, maybe they want to read about it, but they're not ready to tell people that, you know. So that you know, I absolutely agree. That is difficult. So when you do these book signings and stuff, like, you know, do you have like people that are coming up to you crying?
Yes, and I allow the audience to give me a Q&A. I pitch myself as someone that could answer any question anyone has to ask, and I guarantee an answer.
Wow.
That's how studied I am in the subject. And I mean, I'd love to challenge you and everyone in this room. Ask me anything you want. I believe there's nothing I can't answer on the subject.
Wow.
And everything's Googleable anyway.
What would you say was the hardest thing about overcoming that?
Getting over the hump of going from a pretty much, I don't want to say that I was fully anorexic, because in that case I would have been with intravenous and hospital, but I'd say I was borderline anorexic. I was one step away from being on an intravenous, and getting over the hump of just getting that epiphany of how to heal myself and then actually doing it. And then once I was on that road, I'm like, there's no one I can't help at this point.
Wow. So was there maybe like a trigger thing, like an internal thing that first you needed to identify and make peace with and fight that first before you know, does everyone, is it the same for everyone? Is it different for everyone? What was your kind of like trigger? I don't even know if I'm using the right word.
No, that's a really good question. I think it's usually always the same thing, but there are variations. With me, it was a lack of control and a fear that I wasn't educated enough to know how this food would affect my body. Like, oh no, I can't have a bite of that cake because I'll just eat the whole cake. I'm going to starve myself all day, but then I'm going to end up binging all night and then starving the next day because of how many calories I ate in the middle of the night. Now, I had a lot of really strange epiphanies while this was happening to me, because and I'm going to go really taboo here, while I was starving and binging, I actually, during that time, I was not gaining weight. I was keeping my weight down, because that box of Oreo cookies that I ate in the middle of the night, which had about 1,200 calories, was being burned off during the day as I was starving myself. I was unhealthy, but I was not gaining. And that's when it clicked in my mind, wait a minute, it's not these cookies that are making me afraid of gaining weight, and it's not these cookies that are putting the fear on me. It's actually the fact that I didn't know what my calorie range was. And I realized between 1,200 and 1,450 for average size women is usually the amount of calories that we're allowed to have. And whether you eat it in the healthy way, which is 4 times a day, ideally, or whether you binge it in the middle of the night, as long as you're getting those calories in, you're not going to gain weight. And then when I took the fear away from the food, and I said, wait, it's about my regimen and how I do this, I became comfortable with dispersing that allotment of calories throughout the day, because I was doing it anyway while I was binging. Really sick stuff that a lot of people find what my way of thought at first very taboo, but when they realize that it was that darkness that brought me to the light, they become comfortable with my principles.
Wow, interesting. So, and now this inspired you to really expand and become a sports nutritionist, personal trainer. You took it and you went all the way.
I went all the way with it,
so now, like, you're the expert when it comes to food and health and all that now, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that over at the YMCA with the pageant, and I'm in the middle of getting the paperwork together for my own charity organization called Eat Right.
Ooh,
as well
exciting.
As writing.
Be on the lookout for that, guys.
I'm writing some lesson plans right now. At first, I thought my demographic would be elementary school kids to show up as a guest speaker at after-school programs and auditoriums, and that would be like really basic stuff, so I decided to include some anti-bullying in that, because I find that a lot of kids get bullied because of image and the fact that they don't accept themselves and others.
Didn't you just walk in an anti-bully fashion show?
Which is what inspired me to incorporate that in the program. That was for Richie Rich from Heatherette, and he's working with Pamela Anderson. And I actually met him back in the day when I started off as a cage dancer at the Limelight. Now, when I say
oh, you look way too young for all that. Oh my god.
When I say cage dancer, and I don't mean a topless go-go dancer, I mean professional dancer, extended from the ceiling in a cage. I was a professional I was a professionally trained dancer and world tour choreographer during that time. Wow. So that was just a way for me to make some extra money.
And the list just keeps on growing. I can't keep track, girl. I can't keep track.
Keep track either. Yes. So I did, and Richie Rich inspired me to really implement that anti-bullying within the schools. Right now I'm in the process of pitching it. Not the easiest thing in the world because it is my own program, and I started targeting different colleges because I really think that my principles would really benefit adults even more than kids.
Interesting.
I would help the kids, but like it's the adults that really have those problems with, oh, I can't eat, I'm about to go to bed, oh, it's the holiday, I feel so fat. It's really adult talk that I want to primarily focus on, but I could help the kids with the self-image thing too. So I'm in the process of the lesson plans right now and targeting schools and just wishing I had like one moment to myself, but I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know how you fit all this in.
I don't know.
and have time to come be here and inspire even more people.
I appreciate that.
No, thank you so much for wanting to share your story with everyone. So to get back to where we were, because there's just so many things to talk about with you. I just don't even know where to begin. But yeah, I want to talk more about the pageant. I know that there are a lot of girls that would love to be in a pageant. And there are so many out there.
Oh yeah.
And there are a lot of mixed feelings about pageants as well. You know, there are some people that don't really understand them, that might think that it's just, you know, you have to spend too much money to be in them. But there's really it's very rewarding to be able to, you know, like you said, like you're doing it for Women of Achievement, where you have this whole platform about, you know, helping people overcome eating disorders. So when you look at the pageant from that perspective, it really makes it something really special. So anyway, like I said, there's tons of girls who would love to know how to get started being in a pageant. How do you choose a pageant? How do you view it? How do you find sponsors? And you know, what kind of advice could you give for girls who want to get started in the pageant world?
Okay, those really good questions. As far as sponsorship, I know that some of the girls that I competed with are, and I appreciate your compliments, but a lot of them are a lot further than I am. This one girl that I was second runner-up in the pageant. The girl that I stepped down for, she actually is a fully running charity organization and a fully blown program in schools, and she's helped hundreds of kids already.
Oh, that's amazing.
And her numbers are just skyrocketing every day. She's become a mentor of mine, Deborah.
Wow.
And
shout out to her.
Yeah. And basically, Marlena Martin, the pageant director, I met her through a woman named Susan from the Miss America pageant, and they all know each other pretty much. There's like top 5 pageants, and like I said, I was going for the one with the strongest platform, but one thing I could say could help you girls is this website called Pageant Planet, where you could really look at the different pageants going on and see where you fit in the most. Keep in mind the age demographics as well. When it comes to Miss, which is MISS, you cannot be older than in your young 20s.
Yeah. For a lot of them, though.
Yeah, and then when you reach your mid-20s, that's over, okay? And
done, finished. You have no chance in the world.
That's over. You go into the next category, which is the Ms. and the Misses.
Okay.
Okay, and there are like top 5 pageants for like those types of things. I love Women of Achievement. I love Miss America. There's a couple of really good ones. It's good to stay within your hometown, but I just personally wanted to go out to California to the Queen Mary ship as well. It was another reason. Haunted ship. It was great. You could get all all the information you need on Pageant Planet. And as far as endorsements and money, when you're at like a Deborah level, the woman that I stepped down for, who is my inspiration, she is so far into this charity organization world that she had sponsors left and right come to her.
Wow.
I'm at a level where, yes, I'm a published author, and yes, I'm at the YMCA, but the way I was able to get to the pageant was because I just booked a campaign for a medicine called Keytruda that helps people with cancer, and I played the daughter of the mother dying with cancer, and I mean, my mother died of cancer. It was like a blessing from the heavens that I booked this job, and it got a several-year run, and it was a print campaign where I was playing the supportive daughter of a mom dying with cancer, and they sent me some really good money for that, and it paid for everything for me. I think it was a gift from a mom, honestly. I'm a very spiritual person.
I was just going to say that. I believe in that kind of stuff as well, you know?
Not to sound weird, but I believe in it.
Like, me too right now. That's crazy.
I know you threw in another question there. And as far as, like, the gowns and the preparation, it's really about just being you. And, like, this gown in particular, it's just me. So you gotta go for standards, but also go for, you know,
visuality, what makes you unique.
Yeah.
Special.
I mean, I learned a lot from actually being in the pageant, and I've gotten a lot from being in the pageant. I was only allowed my own group therapy sessions at the YMCA because of this title, okay? Because then I was taken very seriously at that point.
Of course.
But also, I didn't know a couple things going into it. I wanna show off my shoes for a second.
Oh, please do.
See these? Beige stiletto heels are the traditional pageant shoe to be worn with the gown. I will admit that when I was in my evening gown section of the competition, I was actually wearing a platform. And it was a glitter platform, and it didn't have the stiletto heel. And they loved it, and they thought it was funky, but I had points deducted. And I learned that afterwards. And then I went ahead and I bought these shoes for events like today, so I could be in the proper, like, full-blown, this is what you're supposed to look like when you're wearing evening gown look.
Well, I would have preferred the chunky sparkle ones, but no, they're gorgeous. Because this is clean, classic glamour, right? That's probably easier to just keep the girls wearing uniforms.
You live and learn.
Well. Yeah. Okay, so now I wanted to talk a little bit more about how you became a published author, because I know that there are a lot of people that have stories that they want to share, and people that want to help and give back and, you know, share their story with the world. One of the best ways to do that is with a book. But becoming an author is actually a big, huge, long, multi-step process. So what was that process? How, if someone wanted to do that, what are the steps they need to take?
Okay, we all have our each individual process as authors. Mine, believe it or not, is right now I have a couple of published books. I have that one. I have my poetry book, and right now I have a cartoon. I love writing cartoons, and I have a illustrator and publisher in France. She calls herself the Crow, out in France right now. But I will tell you this, and I'm on my next book as well, which I'll talk about in a second, but each book that I have took me 10 years, each one. And I was like going through them at the same time. I was thinking of a cartoon and my diet book and my poetry book all at once. It took me 10 years to compile 100 of my best poems, which I turned into rap songs as well.
Wow.
I feel like I just like sound like I'm just like so all over the place, but I'm really focused. I really am focused. I'm focused. I find time. You find it when you want to. You know how it is. You just find the time.
I actually remember reading about you that one of your poems was published in Angelina Jolie's film.
Yes, it was called Love Sick. It was a poem that I won first place for at my previous college, at Kingsborough College. I won the poetry award there for that poem. Then when I graduated and I went over to NYU, I'm like stuck over here. I was asked to, while I was studying at NYU, I was asked to, did I rip my shirt? I was that poem in Angelina Jolie's movie that she produced about Cambodia called Lovesick.
Wow.
So I had an open mic moment in that movie reading my poem, and then I'm just like, you know what? I need to take this pile of papers and publish my 100 favorites. And while I was doing that, I was mulling over this book, 10 years of ideas with this cartoon, and then like once I decided to go publish as a published author, I was ricocheting them out. Because they took me like a day or two to write each, but it took me 10 years to think about each one of them. And then, of course, the editing was out of my hands because, I mean, sometimes when you're creative, maybe some people are not the best spellers in the entire world, so I needed everyone. I needed and editors for everything I did to just every, like, spelling and punctuation.
It's hard to proofread your own work.
Yeah, that's hard too.
It's not even recommended, even by someone who is a perfect writer. You know, you'd still want another eye to proofread it.
Yeah.
And then, so how did you get your publisher then?
So basically what ended up happening was I was just sending out my documents, and I just felt like I was hitting a wall. I was getting impatient. And like I said, I do a lot of commercial modeling, and I'm first and foremost an actress, but I've been getting some money on the side modeling, and I took that money once again, and I just paid for it myself. And I just went to Trafford, and I just paid them, and they put them up on Barnes & Noble, and I just invested all of my money back into myself.
Wow, that's amazing, sweetheart.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask a couple more questions. I'm not really sure if you're allowed to even answer some of these.
I can't wait.
I know that people want to know about what kind of drama goes on behind the scenes with these pageants. You know, like if there's any like juicy, funny details, stories you can tell us of any like crazy pageant moment where like some girl like, you know, did this or did that, or there was a cat fight, or just some dirt you could give us.
Okay, that's really interesting and funny because a lot of people are talking about this backstage, how not catty it was.
Really?
Because of the fact that it's not Miss. We're not getting the teenagers with the claws out. We're getting a room full of like refined women that are fully immersed in charity work and self-help. So we were actually all sisters from the start.
How amazing is that?
And we were all shocked too about it because
there wasn't so much competition then, because it was everyone was there for their purpose of representing their platform.
There was zero competition.
So
actually, we were zipping each other's dresses, hugging, kissing each other. And we were all talking about it too.
So
like,
nice to
how
hear.
do we all love each other?
So nice to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing I was going to ask, but I'm really not sure if you're going to
No, I love it. I love that.
Can I try on your crown?
Yes, you can. Can I actually get behind you and grab?
Please
Can I have this moment?
Please do. My moment is finally here. My moment. Okay. Always wanted this. Oh my God.
I love that.
How's it look? Do I wear it
well?
well?
You wear the crown really well.
I feel like bigger.
It almost
feels like lighter, like a sense of empowerment.
It takes energy and it like actually like sends it out through the points of the crown, almost like a chakra.
That's really cool. I'm seriously not even making this up right now. Like we gotta let the crew try this on.
She's right. We'll all take turns.
Alright, I'm not gonna steal too much of your thunder right now.
Oh please, I love sharing.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I wasn't even sure if you were like allowed to even like let somebody else wear your crown, or if it was only allowed to be worn by, you know.
No, I think the whole premise of Women of Achievement is to actually love your sisters and help your sisters and make other wonderful women feel like queens.
Aww,
that's my job.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. So I know we have some of your guests here today.
Yes.
So why don't we end it with some advice, some inspiration, and then we'll bring you back on and we'll talk about your acting career with some guests that we have coming up. So guys, stay tuned and for our next episode with Ms. New York, we're going to talk about her acting career and bring one of her co-stars and her movie director. So we got a lot more fun stuff to talk about. But yes, so just to end this segment with you, why don't you give some last tools, tips, advice, because that's what we're all about here at Tools for Talent. We provide, the best tools to help aspiring entertainers, models, pageant girls, to basically get started in the industry, to overcome, to accomplish, to succeed, and build their own careers. So what would be the main things that you would want to...
Like, are you willing to pay back what you've just done for yourself? Are you willing to make those choices? Are you willing to have that piece of cheesecake but give up one of your 4 meals that day for it? Are you willing to pay the price is what I have to say my motto is. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you so much for being here today. It was such an honor to meet you, Miss New York.
It's an honor.
Achievement.
It's an honor to meet you.
And so we're gonna have you back on in a few.
That's
great.
Again,
you guys, you are watching Tools for Talent on TFT TV. I'm your host, Cheryl Martinez, and my guest tonight was Miss New York, Aesha Wax.
I feel stronger.